Here tonight by fellow board members Bill Cluck, Crystal Scotitas, and Darrell Waters. Unfortunately, Mr. Majors was unable to join us this evening. On behalf of the entire board, thank you in such a big way to the Harrisburg Regional Chamber and CREDC for this award. I have to admit that our staff was a bit sneaky and submitted this without our knowledge, so we were genuinely surprised and most certainly humbled when they told us that we've been selected. They don't know that we've lined up a dunk tank for Capona next year, and they're all going to be taking a turn. So, I don't know how many folks actually know just kind of the things that Capital Region Water does. We oversee the sewer, the water, the stormwater facilities for not just the city of Harrisburg, but a number of surrounding municipalities as well. It is very unglamorous work that happens very quietly, a lot behind the scenes, and we actually kind of like it that way. It means things are going well when we aren't getting angry phone calls. I'd definitely say that it's been quite an interesting journey over the past few years for the former Harrisburg Authority, now known as Capital Region Water. We've experienced a tremendous amount of transition and exponential growth, having expanded from less than 10 staff to over 80 folks, essentially overnight, as part of the transition of the entire sewer and water operation from the city's purview to that of Capital Region Water. As was mentioned during the presentation over the past few years, there's been a few things happening in the city which I'm sure we're all aware of, and CRW was right in the middle of it in terms of some of the fiscal recovery efforts that were happening here, namely the sale of the incinerator, the performance of a forensic audit that were all part of the city's financial recovery plan. We've undertaken, and it's actually still underway, although nearing completion, a super exciting $50 million wastewater treatment plant project that has me totally geeked out because I'm an engineer, but nobody else really cares too much. But it was necessary for us to meet Chesapeake Bay requirements, and we're very proud that that project is moving forward and coming in way under budget. Some of the bigger efforts that happen on top of those very tangible things is there was a concerted effort by this group to rebrand this organization as a regional provider and a steward of all things water in all its forms, which goes to our tagline of from raindrops to river. We've worked very hard to create a culture of transparency, professionalism, responsiveness, and most definitely fiscal responsibility. I have to say that none of these things happen without our incredibly talented, conscientious, and very progressive staff. These folks are forward-thinking, extremely thorough, incredibly technically savvy, customer service oriented, and they're well-versed in the many areas of government relation with which we must comply, and I will not name them because it would make your head spin, the number of permits that we are involved in. And mostly they're very patient with us as board members as we ask an awful lot of questions at our monthly board meetings. I can definitely say as a board member and a city resident, I know the board would agree that we are truly lucky for the top-notch people that make up CRW. So to Shannon Williams, who is out there and I cannot see anywhere, our CEO, the rest of our leadership team, and the entire staff and every single member of our CRW crew, a huge thank you to them for all that they do every day to make this a successful organization. And lastly, I can't say enough about the members of the board standing here this evening. These folks tirelessly give their time, and I can say without exaggeration, that time is, in the course of a year, hundreds of hours, particularly when we were working through some of the financial recovery times with the city. And actually at that point in time, we were only a 3-member board out of 5, which meant every board member must be present for every meeting, executive session, etc. So we just did not have a quorum. So these folks are invested and they commit themselves wholeheartedly. And they're all unpaid. This is completely unpaid volunteer work. All these folks read through an immense amount of documentation every month and prep for the board meetings. They're asked to understand some very complex technical, legal, and financial issues, and they're true financial stewards of the public monies with which we are entrusted. We take that responsibility incredibly seriously, and we are very rigorous in how we administer those funds. I love that somebody referenced Leadership Harrisburg earlier because I couldn't wait to talk about servant leaders. These folks are excellent examples of servant leaders. This board just personifies that mentality. And I'm humbled to work with these folks on a regular basis, so a huge thank you to the board as well. And at this point, I think that's all that we have. Thank you so much for bestowing this honor upon us. I'd love to talk more about water and wastewater, but that's enough for this evening. Thank you so much for the honor.